Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright, hopefully you've seen the new section on the previous video. Alright, that's just temporarily blue tacked on at the moment. I've got to make another one to cover the new section, but yeah, so still no scenery done, but I'm just playing around with operations and I want to thoroughly test how the section works. At the moment it's sort of like a staging yard, interchange tracks, sorting tracks, but if we just pan around a little bit, from there there'll be another 1200mm section with a runaround track and possibly one or two storage sidings, so that'll be where trains will leave and arrive at. So since I last made a video, I've just made up some car cards. I haven't done any waybills yet, but as you can see, let's get it to focus. That's the one for the centre beam, which is currently at Kiwi Lumber at the moment. There's the reefer that I repainted. The thrall box car, which upon a bit of research, often used, the doors all fold away, often used for plywood and processed timber, and that's what in my layout is probably going to service Kiwi Lumber. Alright, we've got, that was partially stuck. Locomotive card, that's for the SD40T tunnel locomotive. I've consisted these open bay hoppers and I've got to renumber one of them. This one here I've got to print a picture, but that's for the TTX car right there. And my second HO locomotive, which I got for a bargain just very recently, is my GE AC 4400, which is a Athearn Spectrum, Genesis, sorry. So we'll put those together. So I've got a holiday coming up, and also with this Middle East crisis going on and huge petrol shortages and pricing, which people are saying will never go back to the pre $2.50 mark we have here in New Zealand, which is sad, but I don't know why. But yeah, I haven't bought any more Frank cars, so rather than have a shuffle up or or follow an op sheet with waybills, we're just going to do a quick op session, and I'll demonstrate the new GE AC44CW. So we're just going to pull that car card out there, locomotive card out there. Now I'm just going to pick some for a bit of difficulty. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So we're going to have the XAR thrall car. That's going to be a delivery to Kiwi Lumber. The reefer we're going to have for Griffin's Biscuits, and we're going to actually, what we might do, won't worry about the CN car, we're going to use a 60-foot high cube box car, and that's going to be a delivery to Dulux. Alright, so I'm going to sort them out in such a fashion that involves just a little bit of creative switching. And there's my bulkhead flat that I've also got. Alright, so just for the sake of making it interesting, first drop off we will have might be the reefer. So we'll go the reefer, the TTX, and the throttle car, but we might have to rearrange those because that's a team track. Alright, let's see how we go. Alright, so what we need to do, we're done with the train cards. Okay, so we're going to pick up the reefer, so point's already set for that. Alright, so we don't want the Canadian National 50 footer, so we'll uncouple that. Alright, I'm not using my throttle wirelessly at the moment because I need to get some rechargeable batteries for it. So that's my LocoNet universal receiver there. Alright, so the next move, we need to pick up that bulkhead flat because it's sort of in the way, so change the point, reverse up. Right, just to clear the points, right, switch it back. So this spur or siding here will actually be an industry. Haven't decided exactly whether it would be a concrete works or an animal feed processing grain plant, or some sort of aggregate as yet, or even some sort of facility where I can spot tank cars, whether syrup cars or fuel cars. Alright, so we unhook that one there. Alright, pull forward again. I've got it programmed, it changes direction to sound the horns, but I can't work out how to turn that off. But the ditch lights are programmed to flash when the horn is sounded, so that's which out of the box it didn't do. So I'm not sure for yard operations whether they would have actually run the ditch lights, so I'm going to check that out. But I can actually turn the ditch lights off, which we might just demonstrate. Alright, there's a couple up there. Now I can't remember whether it's function 5 yet, so that turns the ditch lights off there. They're probably mainly used for mainline running. There's a little far coupling. This is going to be sort of the main running line on the branch or the short, so but automatic coupling is very difficult on a curve. You can do it on, so you're best off having fairly straight spurs. Alright, so we'll run, we haven't given it a train number, but Loco 6837 into Gracefield branch yard. We're going to slow it down a little now. Sorry, must have brought it to a complete stop. So haven't actually measured this. This section here is going to be rebuilt on new baseboards, lighter weight, to match this new corner section, module 2. But and I want a slightly longer run around track. I haven't actually measured this to see whether I can fit these 3 cars in. I'll just pull up there, reposition the camera. Alright, we've pulled up on the arrival track, arrival and departures track, and yes, it's there is enough space for the loco to run around its train. So I'm just going to disconnect the loco from the train. Alright, we'll pull forward. Just have to clear the crossing. You don't normally stop on the crossing. Alright, the signals, click the switch. Check. I've got to think ahead, and like I don't have electrified switches. Alright, so slow it down a touch. Just got to pass the switch. Sorry, a bit more. Right, now we've cleared the switch. Yeah, I might go back to a manual horn, but I've just got to research how I reprogram that so I don't, I still would like the ditch lights to flash when the horn's engaged. It hasn't picked up properly. Now that has. Oh. Sorry, apologies. This thrall wagon is a second-hand wagon, and maybe the KD on the back is not perfect. Not the end of the world. We can add a new knuckle to that. Alright, so we're just going to, we're not going to use the siding track, we'll just use the main, so to speak, as a runaround, as the head shunt. So we've just got to pull forward till the reefer clears that point. Normally train never stops on a bridge, so that's another design flaw that I'll fix with this module. In future, no module will be longer than 1200, which is a good size. When the layout's separated, it can go into my vehicle. Right, I'm going to pass through a couple of points here. Now we can actually reverse this straight into the Griffin's spur. Alright, we're just going to slow it down a little bit. So I've switched the point, so that should actually, so that was nice and easy. But if I shuffled those cards so they were in an awkward order, it would have meant some creative switching to put it there. Still a bit more scenery and stuff I want to do on this section, so I'm just trying to decide when I actually do the rebuild, whether it's not worth actually finishing the scenery on this section if I am going to rebuild it, but it does seem a shame. So yeah, jury's out. Let me know in the comments. It's just very heavy. I don't like the way I constructed it. It's had a piece added on. I sort of sandwiched two pieces of 12mm ply together, and then cut some sections out. And also I've had to bury the wiring inside it, and I can't actually access it. So, all right. So we're just going to pull forward again. So the challenge here is, unfortunately, the loco needs to be at the other end. To shove them into that other siding, so we have to go all the way back out. Not quite, we're going to stop it about here and then push the wagons back onto the runaround track this time. Means you don't have to go as far. I should have sounded another horn then, actually. You can still manually that over the crossing, so we'll do the short horn now. Oh, I would have actually done this in reverse. Let's do a couple up. Once again, this is on a slight curve there. All these freight cars I've got at a bargain price, all second hand. I got 3 which were basically hardly even used. The TTX 60-footer high cube has been very lightly weathered on the bogies and the roof. I may add a little bit to the side walls, I'm not sure, but it would be the most modern. Oh, no. Sorry, had a slight derailment back here, and it's not the fault of the rolling stock. I didn't change the point, the switch, just before the bridge. So that was totally my fault. TTX, I flicked it just as that was going over, so that's why the TTX didn't derail. So when I say the layout runs faultlessly, I'm the weak factor. You know, I've just got to remember to switch my turnouts. Now I don't think actually. All right, pull up. All right. So this is where I need a slightly longer head shunt there. So just for the sake of this video, till that happens, I'm just going to cheat. Switch the 10 track point, and I've just lifted the bogey. But you need to be able to clear that. Oh, sorry. The throttle car is an older one with plastic wheels, so it's gonna get some new bogies with all new wheels anyway. Alright, pull up, slow down. We're going to have a pickup here, so no, I think for the sake of keeping this video to an acceptable length and issues with that head shunt, what what I should have done was actually pulled out the yeah, this is where switching layouts are really fun, and their limitations can actually add to the fun, because this centre beam car here was to be a pickup, but I'd have to pull it out with the box cars in front, and I don't have enough lead. So what I probably should have done when the two boxes were in the runaround track, I should have gone and got that and temporarily placed it maybe on the arrivals track, then grab those two box cars and push them into the team track. So the TTX would have uncoupled, stayed at Dulux, and the throttle car would have been where that centre beam flat is now, in the Kiwi Lumberyard. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. But yeah, it's if you don't have a go, you can't have fun, and every day you learn more and you learn more skills. So in order that this layout is properly operational, like this new section, it's going to be thoroughly tested before I even think about gluing an ounce of ballast down. So apart from its weight and length, this runs really well. It just needs some slightly longer head shunts at the end, and that would make it even longer. So that's why it's probably better just to salvage everything I can, carefully remove all the points, and build a new, probably a 1.2 meter baseboard, and say an 800mm baseboard, or even if I can fit the two 1.2s, and then ensure that I've got slightly longer head shunts, so I can at least have the loco, these longer 6-axle locos, and say two 60-foot cars to ensure good switching. Obviously, if and when I'd like a Jeep or a SW1500, that will help because they're shorter locomotives. So plenty to think about, plenty to plan for, and plenty more content coming on the layouts. Thanks for watching, guys. Having a ball with this, but I will be doing a bit more on the O gauge UK layout for my UK subscribers. So probably after Easter I'll take a bit of a break from American switching, but as I said, there is no reason why I cannot in time switch some British at 00 rolling stock on here, because the generic modern day industrial buildings are pretty similar across the world these days. Alright, thanks for watching, happy modelling, and wishing everyone happy and holy Easter for those of you that are Christian like myself, and we'll come back after Easter. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.